Heather, welcome back. It is always such a pleasure to see you.
Oh, I love seeing you too.
I love speaking with you, and the season is good.
Yeah.
It's real good. How are you feeling about it? Because I've got to be honest, after last season, I was like, I wonder if Heather's really going to come back, because it was rough after last season.
It was rough.
Yeah.
It was hard. And at the reunion, after the reunion, I still didn't feel like I got what I was expecting. Sure. I don't know if I had resolve from absolutely everyone, but I had to make a conscious choice to say, okay, well, I need to, clean slate this whole thing and figure out who my real friends are.
Yeah. Who are the real friends?
Well, it's a good question. Because then the thing is, you live it, you feel one way, then you watch it back.
Yeah.
And you feel, you feel a little differently.
Sure. So what ultimately made your decision to come back this season? Was it even a question?
No, it really wasn't a question for me. I mean, yes, it was a very difficult season, but at the end of the day, these are my friends. This is, of course I'm going to come back.
Yeah. You said perspective changed after last season. Obviously, what happened with Terry. How did it kind of shift for you?
So I think as you get older, in general, you get better perspective, right? You become less reactive. You realize, what's really important in life, and you lean into gratitude and all of those things. I feel like I was always that kind of person. But after last season, and then after Terry having that mini stroke, it really sort of recalibrated me in a way of, okay, wait a minute. I really want people in my life that are positive, happy people, and I already knew what was important, but trust me, I lean in even further towards my family.
Yeah. So did it make going into this season easier for you then, having this?
I mean, I think so. You watched tonight's episode?
Yep.
So, I mean, I don't remember if it was shown, but when, we were at the golf event and everything, I said, my husband had a stroke. Like, I don't have time for this. And it wasn't about, deflecting off of what was going on or anything like that. It was literally me standing there saying, this is so trivial and unimportant and not even in a good, like, petty drama fight, just really nonsensical. I didn't have time for that.
No, and then, well, I guess you got to realize, like you said, you get this perspective, like, I don't need to engage in this.
No.
Yeah. Were you surprised? Obviously, we're talking about Katie and how she came in the season. Obviously, she's new, and, you have said it before, like, I thought, like, you'd come into a group and want to make friends. Do you feel like she almost came in with an agenda to kind of hurt you?
Well, not kind of, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if the timeline is that understandable yet.
Yes. Yeah.
And it shall be.
Okay.
But truthfully, Katie, months before joining our group, months before meeting me, was talking to people to try to dig things up on me, went to Sutton's Christmas party, obviously with some sort of agenda. And there's very, conflicting stories. Apparently, she had told Gina the day after that party, oh, I saw Heather. And Gina told me, and I said, oh, why didn't she say hi? And she goes, oh, she didn't want to bother you. And then it turned into this, I snubbed her. I mean, listen, do you think that if I thought someone was coming onto wouldn't snub someone at a party or anywhere.
No.
Anyway, that's not in my nature. I'm a polite person. But I mean, tenfold, if I thought you were coming on my show, wouldn't I bend over backwards to be nice?
Yeah.
Of course I would.
Of course you would. What happened with the whole tagged picture thing?
Yeah. So it was just an accident. So I had looked Katie up on social because Gina had talked about her, and I knew that she might be coming on the show. There was another girl who they were talking to about coming on the show. I looked her up as well. But I don't take a deep dive. I look, oh, she's cute, she's got kids, all right, whatever. But my social media person was putting my birthday post, and what I'm assuming happened is she was tagging my dress, my hair, my whatever, and I was wearing a Givenchy dress, and the GIN, I'm sure Janella popped up, and she just hit it by accident. But you want to know what's so funny? Is that a few days later, Katie was sending a text out to the group, and she put the wrong Heather on the group text. And so she had to sort of text me on the side and say, oh, sorry, I added the wrong Heather. And I go, that's okay. And she goes, oh, I was just doing too many things at the same time. And I go, I get it. It's
you
okay.
See how it happens.
But she didn't see how those things were comparable. But what was also strange to me with the tagging thing, obviously it was a mistake. It was a picture of me by myself. But was it offensive?
Yeah, no.
I mean, I would think someone would be happy if they got tagged, because then people might look them up,
Sure,
follow
yeah.
them.
Right.
No,
You're welcome.
By the way, won't make that mistake again.
Were you shocked that these paparazzi photos, this was such a topic of conversation? Like you said, it was so trivial. It really didn't mean anything. But why do you think that she was so hell-bent on making you admit something that she thought was true?
I mean, it's like, ba, 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 ba. The question is why?
Yeah.
Why does she care? Why was this important in her life? And why was this important in her life months and months and months before even meeting me? You know, I feel like obviously she wanted to be on our show and she wanted to come in and make a big splash. I'm not sure that was the right splash.
Yeah.
And you know what's sad for me is that I was really excited to meet her.
Yeah.
We actually, after my New Year, New You party, I texted her, welcome to the show, I'm so excited you're here. And we went back and forth several times. So it's so not cool that we were having these nice exchanges, and I think we're getting to know each other and going to be friends, and she's trying to, you know, stir up all this stuff about me. It's disappointing.
It's disappointing.
Yeah.
But you always leave it with class. You thanked her for the golf event. You didn't take your Dom back, which
No, I didn't. And it was so cute. It had little golf tees in it.
I love
it was
that.
really cute.
It was really cute.
Yeah.
You know, what was
But how funny was my sweater?
I guess. Oh, yes, it was.
Was that foreshadowing?
Yes, right?
I had no idea. I just thought it was funny. I bought it off Instagram, and I thought this is so cute.
Yeah.
And then when I heard we were doing this golf event thing, it looked like a golf sweater,
did.
and I thought it was cheeky and funny. I had no idea how apropos it would be.
Right? It always comes together.
Who knew?
You know what was interesting to me? Because I think you said in an interview recently that you and Tamara, very close friends, still on good terms. But she got so excited when she found out that Katie had like this information on you during that girls' night. Did that kind of take you off guard a little bit?
Oh, it devastated me.
Did it?
Yeah, I shed some tears that night.
Did you?
Here's the thing. I understood when the girls were all at the bar that at first they were laughing and carrying on about it because they were told this information in a very salacious way. So I understood that. But then I kept thinking, why is no one asking to see proof? Why is no one vetting this information? And why is everyone so gleefully enjoying this? But the scene with Emily and Tamara that followed was very upsetting to me. And I have heard from Tamara. You know, she texted me and was very apologetic. Tamara and I have been friends for a long time. I am very upset about all of that. But that's something we're gonna just have to figure out, and that doesn't mean we're not friends anymore. It doesn't mean I'm mad. It means I'm upset. Yeah, I'm upset.
Are you upset with Emily, or
Yes.
did you kind of expect that? Because I know the two of you are starting to get back on track a little bit, but I think she said, I would like to see fancy pants with her pants down, right?
But isn't that a terrible thing? I mean, who wants to hang out with people that want your demise? It's like Schadenfreude on steroids. Like, I'm not that person. I want my friends to succeed. I want everyone to be happy and move forward in their life. It didn't feel good.
No.
And I didn't think it was funny. And I think Emily is very funny. And I know I'm sensitive, and I always try to take a step back and be like, am I overreacting to that? But I felt like a lot of those statements were really mean-spirited.
Yeah, no, definitely.
And I haven't heard from her.
And you haven't heard from
No.
Emily, no, but you did hear from Tamara.
Several times, yeah.
Several times. And
Gina and Shannon.
Yeah. I feel like Gina has been sticking up for you, though, especially when it comes to Katie. I spoke to her as well, and she's like, after the season, I don't know if I can really trust Katie anymore.
Well, she lies.
But Gina?
No.
Katie, yes, right. So I don't know if she can trust her. Was it nice to see Gina taking your sides, considering Katie was her friend?
I mean, yeah, but she had just met Katie.
Sure.
You know, Gina and I, not that it's a competition, but we've been friends for a long time. And I think what was disappointing for me at the beginning with Gina is that you've known me a long time. Why are you just taking this person's word that you just met and all these things? But here's the other thing. You know, even after this situation with Katie, I never said anything to the girls like, how could you be friends with her? I very much went, you all do your thing. You make your own decisions. That's just not a friendship that I am choosing to pursue. I'll always be polite. I'll always be appropriate. But I see she's, you know, she taught me who she is.
Yeah. You know, circling back to Emily, we see in the trailer about Emily making a comment that you have made about her weight, I think, and how you always see her as like the bigger person. I know can you kind of give a little bit of context to what might that conversation look like?
Yeah, I don't understand where listen, I haven't seen any of those episodes, so there's information I really don't have, but nothing could be further from the truth. I am so inspired by her and her fitness journey and her confidence at any weight. You know, she was beautiful before she lost the weight. She's beautiful now, and I'm very impressed by her.
Good.
So I don't know where that comes from.
Yeah. So we'll have to wait and see, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so we'll have to wait and see. Alexis is back on the show. The two of you have remained friends for quite some time, but when she came back into the mix, how do you feel like she fit in? Obviously, we have the John factor in all of this.
Yeah, I mean, look, this was a tough thing. It was tough for all of us, and especially some of us that are friends with Shannon and Alexis to be in the middle. I think for Alexis, you know, I hope that the audience really gets to see how much she's evolved and how strong she is since who she was when she was first on the show. I think, I mean, kind of, I guess, fortunately, but unfortunately, because it's all interesting story, but at, you know, her and Shannon's expense. I think for Alexis, she had a very difficult year. Her beloved mother passed away. She ended a 3-year engagement. She's stuff with her kids, like all this stuff going on. And she found love in an unlikely place and wants to shout it from the rooftops. She wants to protect her man from someone she feels has been trying to tear him down. And so she's fighting for all of that. I get it, but I also completely understand where Shannon is, and I kept saying to her, I don't even know how you're showing up.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I could have done that.
No, I don't think I could have done it either. No, it takes a special person to kind of to do that, because I don't think I would have been able to
because
face that.
because when you end a relationship, you want them you want them gone. You don't want to see them anymore. You don't want them hanging out at the places you want them completely gone out of your life. So yeah, very challenging.
Yeah, very. Do you feel like Alexis in any way was throwing it in her face? You know, talking about how she had sex 4 times a day with John, and like, you know, with the promised ring and things like that. Did you feel like it was a little much at times?
Well, I think both things are true. I don't think that Alexis would intentionally hurt anyone. She's just not that person. And yes, I think it was too much. And I told her that.
Sure.
And I don't know if that's shown, but I did tell her that. And I was telling her that I thought that her posts, you know, were maybe too much and maybe bring it back. And she said, you know what, if someone doesn't want to see my posts, don't follow me. And that is her prerogative too.
Yeah. Were you surprised that Tamara took such a step back from Shannon's friendship after the DUI, or is it understandable to you?
There's another one. I mean, like I understand both sides of all of this. Yes, I understand why Tamara took a step back, and when she explained it to me at the time, it made perfect sense. I understand why Shannon feels the way she feels. I mean, they were in business together, they've been friends a long time, but they have had a sort of, I think, a complicated relationship over the years.
Yeah. How would you describe your relationship with Shannon right now?
Well, I think we're good.
Okay.
We were just texting, and like I said, she reached out to me after watching the episode. Our kids were at a concert recently together, and it was so cute because Shannon and I were shooting that Deadpool commercial.
Oh yes, I love that so much.
So they sent us pictures, and then we sent them. It was really, really sweet. And talking about complicated relationships, for some reason, Shannon and I have a complicated relationship. I don't know why. Because you know what? We get along great. We have very similar backgrounds, and I adore her.
Yeah.
My fault, her fault, our fault, other people's fault. I don't know. But I love her. I love her kids, and I'm really happy with where she is. I texted her the other day to congratulate her on the dating show. I think it's so great. No, I'm thrilled for her.
Yeah. Did Ryan Reynolds reach out directly? Did you speak to him?
He did not.
No, he did not.
And I can't believe he doesn't remember me, by the way.
We did. Have you guys have worked together before?
Well, we didn't exactly work together, but I was on a show called Stark Raving Mad with Neil Patrick Harris and Tony Shalhoub. And he was on Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Place with Tiffany Thiessen and Rich Ruccolo and Trailer Howard. And we all would go out after the shows because we were all at CBS Radford. Everyone would in between scenes would smoke cigarettes in the alleyway and whatever. Got no call.
Got no call.
No call.
There's still time. I mean, you were the inspiration for the movie.
I mean, really. They didn't even give me the necklace.
They didn't know?
No.
Oh my God. That's a travesty.
Yes.
How do you feel about Shannon's relationship with alcohol now? After she explained, you know, what she went through an alcohol course and things like that, but she decided not to go to rehab.
Listen, I am not going to be Shannon's judge and jury. Yeah. I feel like she is a grown woman. She made a really bad mistake. And for whatever anyone thinks, she has had to take a very good look at her life. Yeah. And I think her trend is good. And I like where she is. Yeah. And I'm happy for her, and I'm hopeful for her continued success.
Do you feel like John is love bombing Alexis?
I don't really understand what that
Yes.
means, to be honest with you, so I don't know.
Like telling her what she wants to hear, pretty
I
much.
don't know.
You don't know? Yeah.
Don't they all
Don't-
tell us what? Terry,
is
don't
true.
you tell me what I want to hear?
Yes.
What? Is that the secret after 25 years of marriage?
Yes.
Yes.
In December, it'll be 28 years
Wow, 28
together.
years.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
That's insane.
You know what's so funny? Sometimes I feel like we've been together, like I don't remember my life
Yeah.
before him, but in other respects, it's like it's all new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does feel. Does he still give you butterflies?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
And sometimes not.
But they usually have gold on them.
Oh, like Van Cleef butterflies? Was that your joke?
I love that. That was a good one.
Like that.
How is the world's most expensive closet?
The world's most. Okay, so it's so great. And we're living in the apartment.
Okay. The apartment's beautiful.
Thank you. But we rented another apartment in the building. So, because we have the kids,
Sure.
right? And so we have 2 bedrooms upstairs, and now we have 4 bedrooms downstairs. And people are saying to me, so are the kids living downstairs? I'm like, I wish. Wouldn't that be great? Send the kids to live on their
Right?
own?
Uh-huh.
I don't think the optics of that would be very good. No.
So everybody's all together?
No, so basically, we live in this rented apartment with, so we have a bedroom and Max and Ace and Kat,
Okay.
and then Nikki has our guest room, and the other. So Terry and I basically have 2 bedrooms, I suppose, of our own, one up, one down. And Nikki, he goes to school in LA, so he really has his own house with his friends,
Okay.
and he's going abroad this semester. So
Very nice.
Yeah.
And everybody's doing good? All the kids are
Everyone's
doing-
great,
That's great.
yeah.
How do you feel about everybody going back to school, getting back in the routine?
I think it's time. We've had a really nice summer. We had
Yeah.
great time, family time in Idaho together. And then I rented a house for next week for a few days. That's not far. And we're going to all just hang out and play games.
I
and
love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So do you feel after this season that you are rejuvenated after this season? Or was it, because obviously this wasn't as tough as last season by any means, right?
Right. I think every season has its own set of challenges, for sure. But what I loved about this season is that you remember the reason why I came back on the show. I wanted to start conversations in other people's families, and we've been able to do that. And the more I can show what the kinds of work we do and advocating for other families in the LGBTQIA plus community makes me really happy. So I throw this big event for family equality, and it's so exciting. I've been working on this collab with them, the Gems Sparkling Wine Launch, where 100% of proceeds goes to family equality. We've been working on it for a year. This was the culmination, the launch, and we get to show that. I presented at the GLAAD Awards with Meredith Marks. We had the best time. It was so cool. Kate Hudson performed. Oprah was there. It was amazing.
That's amazing.
And all these other things that we did. And being able to show that and use this incredible platform for that, that's the best.
It's worth
yeah,
every,
it's worth all of it.
It's worth all the drama.
Yeah.
It is. How do you, when maybe people come up to you and ask you, how do you create such a household that is so honest and open and able to share feelings, beliefs, and with no judgment? What advice do you give parents?
Listen to your kids.
Yeah.
Because everyone just wants to talk at their
Sure.
kids, like, oh, let me fix this for you. Let me tell you my advice. You really just need to let your kids talk. They're really smart, and sometimes they can work things out on their own. And you also have to really build trust.
Yeah.
Building trust is very important.
But did you find that was easy for you?
Well, it was. I grew up in a very 1950s household where people didn't talk about anything, and everything was like brushed under the rug, and everything's fine, and we didn't know about anything. So it was very important to me to have open communication with my kids and talk about everything. They tell me everything, sometimes too much.
Sometimes, well, that's good. That's a good thing, though.
Yes.
That's, it's much better for them to tell you too much than nothing at all.
100%.
Yes. Oh, circling back, we didn't talk about Jennifer. I have to talk a little bit about Jennifer. Obviously everything that happens with she and Ryan this season, and we see a lot of the legal fallout and things like that. Do you feel like if she stays with him, that it's going to be life ruined? I guess, like kind of how Gina says.
Here's the thing. Jen is the sweetest, nicest girl. And it's funny because as I've watched certain scenes, I get to know her on a different level. And I don't think I realized how she really went from her parents' home to her husband's home and lived a more of a sheltered life. And I think this is a great opportunity for her to, branch out and figure out how she stands on her own 2 feet in the world. And I hope she continues to do that. as far as what's going on in their house, I mean, look, my mother has always said, you don't live in the house, you don't know. So I'm actually curious as a viewer to see the conversations that have been had and what they do talk about behind closed doors when it concerns all of this.
Yeah, definitely. And then when you feel like Katie watches back this season entirely, do you think that she's going to regret the missteps that she made as a first-time housewife?
That's an interesting question. I think you'll probably have to ask her.
Yeah, okay. I can't wait to see how this season unfolds, Heather. It's always a pleasure catching up with you.
So good seeing you.
So good seeing you, too. Thank you so much, as always.